Hey up everyone, welcome back to the Rugby League History channel. I hope you're all well. Tonight's video is going to be the first ever episode of the Rugby League Coffee Club. It's going to be a series, it's going to be a video series about questions that subscribers and people on either YouTube or Instagram have asked me, and I'm going to answer them the best I can. And also in the process, I'm going to give the people that have asked me the question a bit of a shout out as well. So the first question in the inaugural episode of the Rugby League Coffee Club is from the Bundy Chick 82. Go subscribe to the Bundy Chick 82. And their question is, if you could bring a team back besides the North Sydney Bears, who would it be and why would they succeed now other than 20 odd year ago? I actually had to think about this question for a bit, and maybe if we could go through an alternate history or an alternate dimension universe, there's a couple of teams I would bring back under certain circumstances. But in this current timeline that we're living in, I've thought about it, and I'd probably go for South Queensland, the South Queensland Crushers. And the reason why I'd bring them back is I think that's Brisbane does have the market for a second team. They're looking at bringing back a second Brisbane team anyway. And why I think that they'd be successful now as opposed to when they first come in is the fact that Brisbane's going through a bit of a shite period at the moment with the Brisbane Broncos. They haven't won a premiership for 14 years now. And I think that South Queensland, under certain circumstances, could work. Half the reason why they didn't work in the first place is because when they come into the competition in 1995, they were up against a Brisbane team that was already well established, and just 2 years prior were back-to-back premiers in the New South Wales Rugby League competition. So it was a tough ask for South Queensland to come in and try to compete with Brisbane Broncos back then. But these days, with Brisbane Broncos not playing so well and the fact they haven't won a premiership for 14 years, that might sway some people in Brisbane to go for a new team, and I think South Queensland could probably work. The next question is from Hayden Otti, and he's an Instagram user. He also has a YouTube channel, and he goes to Canberra, and he's asked, will Melbourne lose 4 straight matches against Canberra next week for the first time in NRL history? I'm going to say yes. I think Canberra can definitely do that next week against Melbourne. Every team's got a bogey team out there, and there's certain teams that can't beat a team for whatever reason. And I think, especially over the last couple of years, Melbourne have found that bogey team in Canberra. And I think that Canberra, even though they haven't been playing that great as of lately, I think they definitely can beat Melbourne next week. So I'm 100% confident that Canberra can get the job done over Melbourne. The next question comes from NRL Vid 090, who asks, Cade Cust or Dylan Walker at 5'8". I think at this stage, I think Dylan Walker is still probably the better choice for 5'8" for Manly. He's a lot more experienced than first grade. He's certainly proved himself at first grade level, and he's also made state of origin. And I think Cade Cust, he's a good backup. He's a good backup player. He's when he's been called upon to play for Manly, he's actually done quite well. And he did quite well tonight against Newcastle, and he's done well for Manly in the past when called upon. But I'd see, if I had a choice between Dylan Walker and Cade Cust, I'd definitely go for Dylan Walker. The next question is from Isaac Ritchie, so go subscribe to his YouTube channel, and he asks, if they were to bring 2 new teams to the NRL, what would you call them and where would they be based? So I've said over the last few months that if I was to bring back 2 teams, well, to introduce 2 new teams right now, it'd be the Redcliffe Dolphins and the Central Coast Bears. I think Redcliffe are an established brand in Queensland. They've done very well in the lower grade competition, the Queensland Cup, for a number of years now. They're one of the most successful clubs in that league. They've already got their own stadium, they've already got their own brand and jersey and all that. And I've heard that they've got some wealthy backers or people that are interested in getting them into the NRL. And I think Redcliffe could really make the step up to the NRL. And with the Central Coast Bears, well, if you know me, you know the history with North Sydney and the Central Coast. And the Central Coast is a rugby league mad area. And I definitely think that the Central Coast needs a team. There's a stadium there which North Sydney built. People are rugby league mad up there. And I think if the Central Coast Bears were there, that they'd be a success. And they would get a crowd. And they went for that bid in 2006. They were beaten by the Gold Coast. But in that second bid that they had in 2011, when the NRL was looking at expanding back then, they had 8,000 members. And they weren't even a club yet. So there's definitely a hunger for a Central Coast team up there at Gosford. The next question is from CG Moxley, who asks, can South meet the finals? I think South will meet the finals this year. Before the season started, I had them finishing top 4. After watching them play over the last couple of months, I don't think they're going to finish top 4. I think they're going to finish probably 7th or 8th this year. They've proven that they can beat the teams around them and the teams below them, but when it comes to the teams up the top, they really struggle. And for that, I think that they're going to scrape into the finals and probably go out in the first week. The next question is from South Sydney Till I Die. He runs an Instagram page. And he's asked 2 questions. So the first one is, Alex Johnson is performing really well. Do you think South can change his mind about him going? And I think they definitely can. Alex Johnson has been on fire this year, try scoring wise. There's still a bit of the season to go. I think it's been a bit of a daft it's been a bit daft that South Sydney have decided to let Alex Johnson go, especially when he's been such a loyal player and he's done so well for South in the past. So I definitely think that there's still time for South Sydney to reverse the decision, and hopefully Alex Johnson's playing for South Sydney next year. And his other question is, do you think Dean Gagai should be dropped? No, I don't think Dean Gagai should be dropped. He pretty much scored the winning try for South Sydney today against Canberra, and it was actually a really good intercept because it was 2-on-1, and if Canberra would have scored that, it could have been a 4-0 finish in the match. But Dean Gagai, with his experience, knew where to stand and he took the intercept, and he ran 90+ metres to score a try. So I think with his experience and what he contributes to South at times, I don't think Dean Gagai should be dropped. And another question is from Nick from Australia. Go subscribe to Nick from Australia. He asks, what are your thoughts on the career so far of Michael Morgan? I think so far Michael Morgan's had a good career for North Queensland. He's played over 160 first grade matches. He's won a premiership with North Queensland in 2015, and he played another grand final in 2017. I think he was one of the main reasons why they made the 2017 grand final. And also, if it wasn't for his play in the final seconds of the 2015 grand final, they wouldn't have won. He's also played over a dozen games for Queensland, and he's also played, I think, a dozen games for Australia. So he's only 28 at the moment. He's still got a bit to go, but I think he's had a really good career at this stage, and I think he's still got a lot more to go. He's probably got about 3 or 4 more years to go at the top level. So that's me questions answered for tonight for the Rugby League Coffee Club first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. If you're enjoying the channel and you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you get an email when I do a new video. But as always, everyone, look after yourselves, enjoy your week, and I'll catch you all later. Ta-ra.